Every couple of years, it would seem, LEGO releases a brand new mainstay color in their sets. And 2026 is a big year for LEGO's palette with 2 new colors introduced in January. Meet the new Blue Violet and Warm Pink. You'll find these colors in a variety of new bricks spread throughout the 2026 set lineup. So how do these fit into the broader LEGO color system? We had better take a closer look. Of the 2 colors, Warm Pink has certainly had the more dramatic entrance, coloring 16 bricks as opposed to the new Blue Violet's 8. You'll find it in 3 friend sets, the Idea's Lovebirds, Ariel's Magical Mini Palace, and the Japanese Cherry Blossom Landscape Art set. New Blue Violet's debut is a bit more subdued, only appearing in 1 botanical set, 1 friend set, and 2 Harry Potter sets, but it does look like it's launching in some more February botanical sets too. Seeing these 2 specific colors added together at the same time immediately made me wonder if LEGO was rolling out replacements for Sand Red and Sand Purple. On paper at least, there seems to be a lot of similarities, but unfortunately when placed side by side, these colors really aren't compatible in the slightest, at least by my reckoning. The new Blue Violet joins a whole host of almost confusingly similar LEGO colors, most of which are long discontinued. There's Violet, essentially a darker version of Blue Violet, that was produced throughout the 90s and was cut during the Great LEGO Color Purge of 2004. There were well over 70 elements produced in Violet, many of which are minifigure torsos from the basketball sports subtheme. The most common Violet element by far though is the 3x2 slope, which was included in a Happy Meal toy in 1999. Medium Violet is almost a perfect match for the new Blue Violet. This was primarily a Duplo color, but you might remember it as being the color from Nick Bluetooth's shirt in Galador. Though the story of Blue Violet can't really be told without the story of Blue Violet. Confused yet? Don't worry, me too. So I've been referring to this color, the new 2026 color, as New Blue Violet throughout the course of this video, and that's because it's stealing the name from the old Blue Violet, which LEGO is now calling Royal Blue instead. Some of you will probably be familiar with this color as the Knight's Kingdom color, a color that was developed and remained practically exclusive to that theme throughout 2004 and 2005. Comparing these side by side, they are almost shockingly dissimilar, with the new Blue Violet taking on much more of a purple color. The old Blue Violet isn't the only discontinued color getting a name change. Dark Blue Violet has been moved over to Dark Royal Blue. This is an extremely rare color, practically exclusive to Belleville. And you can see here, it is just a slightly darker version of the old Blue Violet. It's gonna take a lot of relearning to start calling this Royal Blue instead. But hopefully that'll get easier as Blue Violet becomes a more important part of the LEGO color palette. And I know not everyone's quite as excited about Knight's Kingdom as I am, but I definitely think it's worth talking about Knight's Kingdom Blue just a bit more. It only ever showed up in 19 sets in total. 14 were Knight's Kingdom sets, 3 were Duplo sets, and 2 were just basic brick sets. 34 different system elements were produced in the color, along with 2 Duplo pieces. Those are pretty surprising numbers considering the color's short lifespan. It appears to have been axed halfway through 2005, so there are alternate versions of Blue Violet sets that include regular blue pieces instead. There are colors that have lasted a lot longer than that and have had far fewer elements. Both new colors are unsurprisingly getting a lot of love in the Botanicals line, but Blue Violet has appeared twice already in Harry Potter, so I'm kind of curious to see if they'll continue to make use of that. This is the most interesting element, this pentagonal tile with a very interesting connection point there on the back. I seem to recall a similar connection in the star element from the Lego Movie 2 sets. And of course, this is nicely printed too to be a wizard card. I'd be very shocked if we ever got any more wizard cards, but who knows? They've got to justify the use of this very unusual element, or at least you'd think they'd want to. Warm Pink is a bit trickier as it doesn't really have an easily identifiable color equivalent, but I think that makes its addition to the LEGO color palette all the more important and noteworthy. It reminds me most of Paradisa Pink, though far more saturated. Recently, there's been some interesting developments in the world of Paradisa Pink, strangely enough. For years, I figured that pink was just more prone to sun damage, as many of my pieces were slightly different colors, but it turns out there's actually two subtly different color formulas, and just recently they were split apart on Bricklink into pink and rose pink. I'd be pretty shocked if the difference even showed up here on camera. You're just gonna have to trust me on this one, guys. Rose pink was the first version of the color, originally introduced in 1991, and most Paradisa sets use this version of pink. It's slightly paler than regular pink. The second pink would replace rose pink almost immediately after that first year and became a common sight in early Belleville sets. It was a bit harder to put this together than the reddish orange palette I did a few years ago, but hopefully this gives you an idea of how these colors fit in next to each other. So right here you'll see the brand new warm pink. And over here, a little more obvious is blue violet because there are no 1x2 plates, 1x2 bricks. There really aren't any practical pieces in the color, at least at the recording of this video. This is bright light blue, currently in production, medium azure, dark azure, good old regular standard blue. That's the old blue violet, now royal blue. The new blue violet, standard LEGO dark purple. This is the old LEGO purple, discontinued in the Great Color Purge. This is light purple, also discontinued. This is going to be dark pink, warm pink, and right here is actually Paradisa Pink. You can see how much lighter it actually is. And then this is your standard LEGO Nougat, your light flesh tone color. So these actually blend together quite nicely just because of their warmth. And there aren't a lot of warm LEGO paint colors that tend to be on the cooler side. And when it comes to the modern LEGO color palette, the same can be said of purples and lilacs. For instance, here is medium lavender and regular lavender. These are also popular Friends colors. And there they compare to blue violet. Really quite interesting. I think another color that's worth bringing into the equation here is coral, another relatively new addition to the palette. It does have a similar energy to warm pink, and I can see these colors being paired quite nicely together. And to bring in some old favorites, here is sand purple across the spectrum here. And of course, we have to bring in sand red, which really doesn't fit in here well at all. It's just so subdued. It blends in better with my table more than anything else. Dark royal blue for reference. It fits in here somewhere. Though, good luck finding any of these pieces. There's only a handful of elements ever recolored in dark royal blue. And then, here's that medium violet. Very, very similar to the new color. And there's violet, another discontinued color. Oh, and I almost forgot a really important one. This is bright pink, the most common of the LEGO pinks used today, and that's how it compares right there to the warm pink and Paradisa Pink. While I don't see these colors quite reaching the highs of reddish orange, they both clearly help fill some gaps in the modern LEGO color palette, either because similar colors have been retired over the years, or as in warm pink's case, they really never existed at all in the first place. Both will continue to be especially useful assets for the botanical line, but I hope we see a few bold and unexpected applications of the colors, like we got out of reddish orange in the beautiful dragon from the Dungeons and Dragons set. We'll see what happens. What pieces would you like to see recolored in warm pink or blue violet? And perhaps even more importantly, what Minecraft blocks could these colors represent? Let's chat about it in the comments. I appreciate you sticking around here to the end, and I hope you have yourself a fantastic life.